Hello everybody, it is Aadil and Chris from the RT UK community. How are you doing today, Chris?
Oh, I'm doing very well, Aadil. How good, New Year?
Oh yeah, absolutely as well. It was fantastic going through those Steam sales and watching my wallet bleed dry.
Yeah, I feel like I think close to like 50 odd quid was spent.
More or less, yeah. So this video is going to be a year in review, essentially, for video games that had their 5, 10, 15 and 20 year anniversaries in 2017.
It's always good to look back at the old gems.
Absolutely. There was actually quite a few notable games of that we all know and love that went through like one of those types of occasions where you would really feel old. So starting off immediately, we have Mario Kart 64, that old gem and classic.
Oh, the memories, the feels, the failures.
The feels and failures and the broken friendships of going along that rainbow road.
Never mind friendships, broken controllers.
Oh god, yeah. Mario Kart was released in North America in February 10th, 1997, and in Europe in June 24th, 1997, making it over 20 years old.
It's older than... What, is it older than you?
Almost.
Okay.
Almost so. Yeah, it certainly does make you feel old, or young, I suppose, in some regards. But now moving on, we'll move on to another classic which I know a lot there is a huge die-hard fan base for. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. I believe I got the name right.
Yeah.
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 Released in March 26, 2002, both in North America and Europe, making it 15 years old.
I essentially remember this game being a lot of jumping around.
Yeah, pretty much. It was. It would put like Doom's bunny hopping to shame, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but one thing that I always like noted about Jedi Outcast was its absolute insane lightsaber fighting mechanics.
Yes.
Where you could still like somehow block and like as if it was like an actual sword battle. None of that For Honor shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of Star Wars games get that wrong. Like they have to rely on like turn-based combat and things like that to kind of pull off the right appearance for those fights. But Jedi Outcast did a pretty decent job of it being in real time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like I think the only sort of like similar approach to this was in The Force Unleashed.
Yes. Yeah.
Where,
yeah.
But you don't really fight Jedi that often. But moving on to what is essentially the granddaddy of first-person shooters, Goldeneye. Goldeneye on the N64.
I don't care what people say. Oddball was a reasonable choice for multiplayer.
Goldeneye, the classic that we all know and love, especially with back in the days when cheats was still a thing. I miss cheats.
Yes, I do. Especially in like strategy games and things like that. They were the bread and butter.
Yeah, not to mention as well, like back then in games, you had like you must have had like a really big arsehole or something because you could just carry every weapon in the game.
Yeah, basically.
And then if I remember, there was a cheat where you could dual wield all weapons, including sniper rifles.
Yeah, I remember seeing that a couple of times. Yeah, insane.
Yeah. GoldenEye was released on the 25th of August 1997. Moving on from the granddaddy of first-person shooters to one of the daddies of first-person shooters, I can't believe I said that, is of course Halo 3.
I mean, what needs to be said that hasn't been said thousands of times?
Yeah, of course. Released on September 25th worldwide, 2007, this game, which was essentially a defining moment for the Xbox 360 and Halo itself, bringing about the culmination of the original trilogy. 10 years old, can you believe it?
I still go back and play it sometimes. It's it is timeless.
It is. It just had all those levels of layers, I suppose, with like Sand Trap as well. Do you remember the elephants?
Oh god, yeah.
God, I remember on Capture the Flag a lot of the times both teams would just like go into ramming speed, which is like 2 miles an hour with the elephants to each other's elephants for like, and the games of Capture the Flag would end in an instant because both flags were based on essentially a moving platform.
Yep.
Now to one of those more amazing games which we all probably shouldn't have played as a kid, but we probably did, was Grand Theft Auto. The first ever Grand Theft Auto.
This one, nauseating camera angles is the primary memory for that.
Yeah, it was the instance of the bird's eye view.
Yes.
Now, the release dates for these ones is slightly weird. It was first released on Windows on October 1997, and then on PlayStation in Europe in the 12th of December 1997. Again, making this game 20 years old.
I feel like the content in GTA 1 wasn't... They were still coming up with a theme for it before they really got into the kind of crime and all that kind of extra stuff that came with the later
they kind of
GTA
more or
games.
less just put it out there. It was like a do what you want, blow shit up kind of thing. But then I think story elements, they really went all out in, starting with GTA 2 and then into the 3D era and into what we see now. Which, I mean, looking back on Grand Theft Auto 1, it really shows how far the franchise has come, both in graphical, gameplay, story, creative, etc., etc. And now moving on, Chris, to Hitman 2.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. The sequel that essentially propelled Eidos and Square Enix as well, not counting Final Fantasy, of course. Released on the 1st and 4th of October in 2002 in North America and Europe, respectively. Well, I mean, this was pretty much a direct upgrade to Codename 47.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. It's always that riveting plot as well of globe-trotting and assassination and espionage.
I think it is one of those template makers, isn't it? In the way it handled assassinations and the open world routes and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think especially in this one as well, where they really went all out in the making assassinations look like accidents.
Yes.
As well.
Yep, definitely.
Which was always like a big plus as well. It really tested people. I think people would just repeatedly try missions again just to get better scores.
Yeah, try and break the game.
Yeah, to be a silent assassin. Another one of those known and loved first-person shooters now is Half-Life 2, specifically Episode 2, which was released in 2007. Another one, 10 years on, and we still haven't got Episode 3.
And I personally still haven't got over the ending for Episode 2 in the first place.
Yeah, that was a bit of a bummer, that one.
It was good for set pieces, this one, though. I mean, the original game, I enjoyed it a lot, but it could sometimes drag on a bit, whereas Episode 2, the pacing was pretty well done.
Yeah. I would like to say so as well. I mean, I remember just playing the original Half-Life 2 as well, and you get, like, there's a lot of, like plot within it, as in having to go from one place to another to drive the plot, and you encounter a lot of stuff along the way.
Yes.
Now, one of those synthy classiques, as I like to call it, GTA Vice City, released on 29th of October 2002 in North America, and for PAL regions, back when PAL was still a thing, 8th of November 2002. This game, I still think, pretty much had one of the best soundtracks ever.
I seem to remember this one being a lot more playful and a lot more ridiculous than GTA 3, the predecessor.
Yeah, it was kind of a bit of an escalation in that sense, causing gang wars and just driving around in Miami Vice-esque vehicles.
Yeah.
And all those Hawaiian shirts.
Oh god, yes, I forgot about those. Oh.
Those amazing Hawaiian shirts while running around as an angry Ray Liotta shooting everything in sight.
I don't know about you, Adil. I spent a lot of that game just driving around, picking up taxi fares. I was a perfectly reasonable citizen.
I mean, I don't know what you're on about. I mean, half the time I just got into a car just to listen to the radio.
Yeah.
Because that had like the best selection of 80s tracks, from Hall & Oates to Kim Wilde.
Yeah.
And I could go on for like a good 10 minutes just on this one alone.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah, but from one synth madness to another, Hotline Miami.
Oh my god.
Released in 23rd of October 2012, this top-down, absolute, hyper-violent, I don't even know what the hell to describe this kind of game.
Hyped up on adrenaline is what you're looking for.
Absolutely. I mean, it was just fun, and again with the soundtracks as well, with individuals such as Perturbator and Carpenter Brute, really drove the synth scene completely. I think this was also coincidentally released around the time of Drive, which really solidified its significance. It also still got reputation of being very Dark Souls-y, but even then, it was you would die, and you would instantly restart, and you get to kill them all again. Now, on to October 30th and 31st, 2012, was Assassin's Creed 3.
A very big change to the series, that one, I seem to remember.
Yeah, it was. This was actually the first instance after Ezio, after the 3 games that Ezio was featured in, moving on all the way to the American Revolutionary War.
Yeah, you swap out the Italian architecture for the slowly built up colonies.
Yeah, and native and essentially playing as a half Mohawk, half British man, I suppose. Was very interesting as well, just looking at all the cultural influences, as well as there was some features as well, but a lot of it was kind of carried over from the other Assassin's Creeds.
Well, let us never forget this was the playtest for Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, thanks to the the naval missions.
Yeah, of course. But even then, I enjoyed Assassin's Creed 3 a lot. I still play it to this day.
Yeah, Connor as a character for me just didn't have the same playfulness that Ezio did, and that's what made me go back more for the Ezio stuff rather than Assassin's Creed.
I suppose so. And last but not least in this video of our year in review, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Of course, all the quickscopers came out of the woodwork when this game came out, and I think was one of the most successful Call of Duty releases at that time, and probably I think one of the most successful in terms of sales at that time in 2012.
I kind of lost track with this. So at what point did the overarching like zombies storyline come into play? Was that for this one?
I want to say yes, either that or with... Yeah, no, it was definitely with this one. Yeah, that's when they started overreaching from the zombie stuff from World at War and Black Ops 1 as well. Yeah. So they kind of kept it going, but I think they changed the individuals who you play as.
Yeah, that was an interesting concept. Kudos to them for making that work.
Yeah, and you know, trying and experimenting as well.
Yeah.
Something that we always value. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video of looking back and feeling very, very old at the games that you hold very much nostalgic joy for. Stay tuned for more videos on the RT UK community channel from me and Chris, and we will see you all next time.
See ya.
Peace.